Let me go this way.
Good evening and welcome to another edition of African Americans Ain't Africans. You know what we do? We get you to think simultaneously. Think about what's going on the earth while you're here. What is your purpose here? Why are you here? Are you here just to be punked around? Are you here to take orders?
Mm.
So, simultaneously, we're going to talk about that tonight. Joining me on Friday night, as always, is the Accomac Godmama, Lisa Cypress. How you doing, Lisa?
Halito, Aseyo, Kayuk, everyone. How you
Caillou.
doing? How you
I'm
doing?
I'm fine. How are you?
I'm great. I'm glad you have me here. It's good to be with you again.
It's
Where am I? Am I in here? I'm in here, right? I'm not
yeah.
showing up.
Oh, there you are.
Yeah, I wasn't showing up.
There you are.
Okay, good.
Okay, so since you're showing your beautiful face, I have to show mine.
You do. You just do.
Though it's not as beautiful as yours.
It's a beautiful face.
Okay, what did I do?
Hey, I don't know. You knocked yourself up.
There
Okay.
I go.
Cool beans.
Huh?
Wait a minute. You. Hmm,
Huh.
okay.
How do I do this? I
Just
don't know.
just your.
I'm gonna get it. But anyway, before we get started,
It's the camera, right? Just take the camera on.
it's saying start cam, but
Hmm.
it's off. I'm gonna figure
Hmm.
it out. I'll figure it out.
What are you working
I'm
on?
figuring it out. What you
Hmm.
can do is tell us about the Accomac Summit that's coming up.
Oh, so excited! I was a little stressed earlier this week because I was, doing my other work thing and hadn't really been able to focus on the summit. Of course, my sister, what's she? A Copper Coin? Copper Coin has been carrying it on and promoting it and putting it out there and getting things together, getting us a great food truck. She's been working it out, getting things done for the summit. When I was, absentee. But let me tell you, it's gonna be so great. Like it's gonna be so great. I'm so excited. Just the things that happen, in a little bit of time, me sitting and waiting for a ride today. I so much the ancestors just brought to my plate. They just was like, "Here you go, daughter. Here you go, daughter. This is you need this. We gotta have this." And they just deliver. They just deliver. They deliver. They deliver family. I had people call me. I recognize the surname. I didn't know the person, but I recognize the surname because I know my people. Hello, J.M. Hotep. Why are you a Hotep? If you need to let go of the Hotep, okay? Like, what are you? Decide what you're gonna be, honey. But Hotep is not indigenous. It's like let's let it go. Anyway, uh, the whole thing is they brought me a surname and I recognized it on the phone and I was like, oh, okay, I know the surname. So I recognized it, and she was, inquiring about the agenda. So here, let me just roll down the agenda for y'all. I'll probably post the agenda and putting it on the Eventbrite and changing some things, once I get my mind right. But basically, the agenda is crazy. It's great. The first day we're having a family reunion, so that's just for people who are, the Accomacs. That's on Saturday. But y'all are invited to attend if y'all want to come in early, and just vibe out with us and hang out with us and enjoy the ambiance, the activities, and what have you. But the day of the summit is Sunday. The first day of the summit is Sunday, October 10th, and let me tell you, it's going to be great. We're gonna have oh gosh, of course we're gonna have a DJ, and of course we're gonna have our saxophone. This is gonna be there as has been for the past 3 years, and we're gonna have a great panel of people to entertain, amaze, and educate you. We're gonna start off with just mad music and nice beats and a great stilt walker is gonna be on there just to get you excited and get the party started and get the kids entertained. When they come out there, and we're gonna have that going on and get everybody just vibed up and hyped up and in the mood. And in addition, we're gonna have our panel discussion. But the first thing we're going to do is we're going to kind of introduce ourselves to what we want to know at this discussion. So I'm going to invite everyone to submit their questions that they want to have answered, things that they need more information about, and we're going to bounce off that. We're going to have our outline of what we are going to hit upon for sure, but then you're going to form the agenda with your questions as well and fill in the blanks of what you want to get out of it. Okay, in addition to that, we're going to have a bow hunter. This is going to be amazing. You're going to learn how to shoot the bow and arrow. You're going to learn how to self-defend. You're going to learn how to actually some survival skills. She'll give it to you whatever you need. She's amazing. She is a expert marksman. She competes all around the country. I would venture to say around the world. She is known as a great markswoman or marks person. And she is awesome. She was there last year. She came in rain and taught us in the rain, and she's a ride or die. She's amazing. And you're just gonna love her like we love her. She's great. And so she's gonna be out there to teach you kids. No, it doesn't matter how old you are, how young you are, you can learn how to shoot a bow and arrow, and she can help you to learn how to secure yourself, save yourself, and survive for yourself, and to feed yourself. And that's what we're going to need to do, because times are about to get real tricky around here. Best believe you better know how to preserve. In addition to that, we have a brother coming out that is a trainer of animals. He has a falcon, and he's a professional falcon trainer, flyer. He's going to bring his falcon out, show us what he has trained this wonderful, magnificent bird to do. And that's what we do. How do we send messages back and forth? What did we do? We did this, and not only did we do it, but we still do it. Brother's going to show you we are still doing it. So you're going to see a brother that's going to that's going to also just amaze you, and just like you're going to be so impressed, and it's great. So we got all that coming out. We got a brother with some crystals coming. He gets crystals all the way all across America, even from Brazil. He got a buddy in Brazil to surprise him with crystals from Brazil. Even he's going to come out and have his wares available for you to look and buy, mostly buy. Let's buy these things. So we're going to support each other. We're going to have other vendors as well. But, the crystals are really very special because, like I said, our stones, our earth, we are part of that. And so, he's going to be out there, and you can get a crystal that's going to reflect what you need and provide the power the power that you need to kind of set your dreams on fire. We got to get lit. We got to get our energy. We have to use our sources, the earth sources. So, this is what you need. You need to get connected with your proper stones and with your earth. So that's all happening. The agenda, okay, we're going to take like turns. So we're going to listen a little, talk a little, break, dance, whatever, go shop, go eat, go shoot the bow and arrow, whatever, come back, listen, learn. I have all kinds of also artifacts available for you to look at. I have books that are as old as the 1500s for you to look at. All kinds of poster boards of information, educational poster boards will be all around the tent so you can look at, learn, read, take pictures of. That's what mostly people do, is take pictures of them. So to, be able to look at some of these artifacts, some of these books in person that you see and read online, that's going to be, very, very enlightening for you. And I hope that you all enjoy the fact that we have created this collection for you to enjoy. So there's a lot going on as far as the agenda. That's just day one. Day two is when we're going on tours to see actual living history, to see indigenous houses, indigenous graveyards, an actual plantation, and actual some old other colonial and indigenous clan sites. You want to see this. You want to understand what you're looking at when you're looking at. And then when you go to your own homeland, then you'll be able to identify it as well. But we'll be able to stop, walk around a little bit, ride around our cars. I'll be narrating as we drive, so you'll have an idea of what you're looking at. It's on the Eastern Shore, so it's a peninsula. So you got water on three sides. It's beautiful. Okay, so you're gonna have a great time. If you want to have extra time for yourself, if you want to take Saturday and go fishing or go to the beach, I suggest you do that. Because it's a beautiful place, and go clamming or crabbing or whatever. It's beautiful. All right.
Well,
That's
hey,
all I
that
got
that
for you.
that
Oh,
sounds.
also, let me not forget I also have a comedian that's going to be popping it off. So we're going to start off with some, just being spiritually, connected. But we're going to also laugh. We're going to have breaks, and I got a comedian that's going to, get you laughing and keep it light and funny. We're going to have all that going on. So we got all that for you and more.
And I would implore everyone to come who can come. Because, like she said earlier, we all looking, trying to find our place in the world. Once you find it, there's something pulling you there way
Mm-hmm.
more than you could ever do. So, this
Right.
is one of the way this is one of the experiences where you can learn that about your heritage, how people did things, how they lived. You kind of you're into all of that, and it's a cold feeling too.
Yeah, I mean, not to say that, we were the most primitive people, because we weren't. We were very advanced, more advanced than we even realized, right? More advanced than we ever realized. However, at the same time, there was a time when we were, uh, using our arrows to shoot mastodons. We were doing that. We have the evidence, we have the fossils to prove it. You know what I mean? So I mean, we evolved, and we grew, and we developed, and we built these Americas. So our history is vast, and we did certain different things at different points in times. It's just gaining a better understanding of what we did when, and how we lived when. But we lived in various types of fashions. We just have to get it right on the, connected the dots, as far as at which time were we doing what. And that's what we're going to try to do for you, give you a better understanding of how we lived and what we did. And as far as like the people of the lineage, they have questions, of course, like your family's going to have questions. Well, so how is it that we are who we are, and how can you tell that we are who we are, and what's the evidence of that, and how can you say that there were no that there weren't any Africans that were in our genealogy? Like, what do what do you mean? And so you have to, so these questions everybody's going to ask you. That's what the person that called me today, she was asking, some of those questions, and I answered those questions for her, because I was like, look, you have to understand that we've been lied to in a tremendous way, and on the Eastern Shore. And we are blessed to have the oldest continuous court records in the nation. So we have all this evidence. We have all these, birth records, court records, um, revolutionary records. We are in the history. A lot of these people that are so-called Native Americans, they're not in the records. They don't have the genealogy. Why don't they? If you were here, where were you? You see, the reason that they don't have all that documentation is because they don't have that lineage. The amount of them that is indigenous is like minuscule. That's why the United States is so quick to what did she ask me? Recognize. Why are we not recognized? I said, you don't want to be recognized. How dare they even say they can recognize
Right.
us? We predate them. This is our home. We need to recognize you. You need to be asking us to recognize your ass. That's what you need to do, United States. You need us to recognize the USA, because you don't have the authority to recognize people who predate you, whose home it is. Right?
You're absolutely
Understand
right.
that.
What do you I don't how old was the woman? Around what age was the woman who was asking you these questions?
Most likely around my age, I would say she was in her 50s or older, even. She might have been older. She might have been She might have
Okay.
been, yeah.
So
Mhm.
what does it mean when people in their 60s,
Mhm.
their grandchildren are asking them about their foreparents and they don't know? What is that saying about that person?
Well, I mean, we can't. I mean, this is the thing. You know me. I'm always like, let's not. I mean, there's a time to give people a hard time and get on them and correct them, and there's a time to give them a little bit of slack. Now, the reality is, we all have been lied to, you know, and it is not a mistake that history is one of the most boring classes to most people in high school, right? So they disengage people with boredom and lies, right? So a lot of people not only were they lied to, but then they are not interested in knowing and learning about it because it was such a bad experience, right? So they've been turned off. Am I too loud?
No, you're fine.
Okay. They've been turned off. They've been turned off to the whole study of history and everything. So she doesn't know, but I'm glad that at least my other cousin who was hesitant, he's not a cousin. See, a lot of the people that are academics aren't literal cousins because we're not all related. That's how we're able to marry and do, you know what I mean? But they're kin. They're kin because they're all academic. They're a cousin of my cousin. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
And my cousin has other cousins that are cousins of my other cousins, but we're not, a lot of us are not literally related, but we're connected. A lot of us have common people that we're related to.
Okay.
And this is what this woman actually probably, her husband probably is my kin because her married name is actually, but then she said she's also probably related to me because she said that my aunt was related to her father. And I'm like, well, then you're related to me because that's my blood aunt, my aunt you're talking about. So but so we may actually be related, but like I said, that's the thing. When you get together your kin, there's going to be a lot of people like that, people from the community that are connected to you either by marriage or blood, or somebody's kind of distantly linked up, because that's the way our nations worked, right? So she was speaking. I guess this brother who he came to the summit, I think the last few, all of them, I think he did. I think he actually attended all of them. And but he didn't stay long. And he's awakening, and he's above 55, and but he's awakening to this information and sharing it with people and sharing it with his family. And he must be getting to a point where now he is able to articulate it, because a lot of times when people first learn, have an understanding, but they can't articulate it to others, you know what I mean? So they don't really share it. But then when they really get convinced of it and they kind of understand it better, then they're able to kind of at least introduce the idea to others. So this phone call from this woman who's above her 50s is encouraging, because you stuck in your ways, right? You're
Right.
supposed to be stuck in your ways. See, but like I said, a lot of academics are progressive anyway. But you're supposed to be stuck in your ways. And so the fact that she's like, okay, she's calling me out the blue, right? Which is probably something she don't do to people either. And she's asking these questions and inquiring, and wants to go to the summit, and they're interested. That is what you call progress. That's what you want, you know. That's what you want. You want them to start opening up their eyes and opening up their thoughts, and inviting this kind of information in to their families, because that's progress, you know. And everything that has been done to keep us ignorant, despite all of that, these people are able to actually open their eyes to something and their ears to something that is coming from a person that looks like them, who is from their people, which we're so hesitant to trust each other. We
Right.
trust anything coming out the daggone European, the white European or the black European's mouth. We trust anything coming from them, right? Rather than each other. And we are the most loving, caring people and that you ever want to be. You can recognize us, okay? Because because of how we act. And you can recognize the Black Europeans by the way they act. And you know that we can be hard on each other. We're used to it. We are very harsh critics of each other. But then again, we also have the ability to forgive. We also have a lot of love to daggone give to each other. But we also need to understand that a lot of these people are pretending to be us. And we trust them more than we trust anything. What do we trust? We trust our frat brothers. We trust our fraternity sisters. We calling them sisters. They ain't our sisters. We're creating families all over the place, and we don't want to gather with our own families. We're connected with our daggone societies that we belong to for work, our fraternal orders of work or whatever, our professions. We get all clicked up in that fraternal order of this and that. But we don't want to get together with our own people, our blood. Meanwhile, our kids, we having one kid here, two kids there. They don't know their cousins. They don't get together. They don't even know who they are. They can't claim anything in this country because they don't know who they are, first of all. And they're not connected with one another to unite, to daggone take a stand to do anything. So that's a problem. We have to do better. So this woman, that was a great step on her part. It was a great step for her entire family. It was a great step for a couple of different families because that happened because of like one person told another person told another person. And it's going to snowball because she's going to tell more people. And that's how you make change in the world.
Simultaneously.
You got to get everybody. If we could do just something like that simultaneously, if we anything positive that we could do simultaneously, that's one of them. If we could all just take the time to talk. Oh, he's gonna change his do that name change. Good for him. Good for him. If we all could take the time to change how we feel about talking to our family and just take the time to explain it. Take the time to have patience with one of our people and let them get an understanding, a bit of understanding. Simultaneously, we could change our whole world.
Okay, can I put a picture in the mind in everybody's mind of what is meant by simultaneously, so we can get so we can be on the same page? And this is just my point of view. Simultaneously is when the wind blows and all the leaves blow in the wind at the same time, simultaneously. So I think we have we have the elements earth, wind, and fire, you know, plus we're on our home turf. See, that's another thing that's very important. We got the home field advantage. And like she said, if we can do something simultaneously at the same time, do you know what that would do?
Right.
What you think, Lisa?
Oh, yeah. I mean, the thing that we could do, the things we could change is amazing. And the ability to show up for ourselves, to be enriched, to be in the presence of one another, to actually vibrate together simultaneously on the soil of an indigenous people. That's a powerful thing. This summit is extremely powerful because that land, oh, these ancestors were like, this land must stay with our people. They were determined to keep it together, to keep the land in the hands of their descendants. These Europeans had to work deviously and furiously to take it, to rip it from our daggone hands. They really did. And even to this day, they can't keep it, because that's how locked tight our ancestors made this. This land is forever our land. They can sit up there and drag their feet in court if they want to, but it is a fact. It is indisputable. It's our homeland. It's undeniable. You are an invader. You are an immigrant. You have no right to take what is not yours. Period.
Now, if we were all on that same vibe simultaneously,
Simultaneously.
what do you think would happen?
What could you do? And the Ackermans just have a little sand and a little soil and a little peninsula. What do you have? You got thousands of acres in Arkansas, Alabama, Texas. You got oil mines. You got daggone mines of coal, mines of daggone crystals and all kinds of precious stones. You don't know what you have because you're too busy daggone being a spectator. You're too busy watching the daggone YouTube battles. You're too busy being a fan. You're not working on your own family. You're not working on your own family. And you have a computer in your hand. You can get on Access Genealogy or any site you want to on your phone. But the most important thing that you have in your phone are the numbers of your family, because you need to be talking to them. Because a lot of them got a lot of genealogy that you don't even know about because you don't talk. You got to start talking. You got to get together. We have family reunions. It's a tradition in the indigenous community. Why is that? Did we get that from Africa? That's an African thing? Huh? Huh? No. Our traditions don't come from Africa, okay? You might have some African traditions in your family. I don't know what your life is. However, the majority of us do not have that. And we don't have it because it ain't there and it don't exist. But we have our reunions as a form of our traditional celebrations. We have to unite. We have to commune. We have to summit. We have to gather together. That's what we do. These things are falling off because the older folks are getting older, and these baby boomers and Xers aren't doing it. We got to get it together. We have to pick up from the fact that our fantastical, magical, silent generation is passing away. We have to pick up the pieces. We have to work. We have a lot of catching up to do. And we got to get what do they call these millennials on track with taking all this stuff over and getting this stuff done. Simultaneously, we need to be motivating. We need to be inspiring. And we need to be correcting and teaching. There's a generation out there that thinks that they can jumpstart stuff and not have any kind of respect for anybody who is there before you or did it different or did it first or whatever. Hello, American Blood. We'll see you. But that's the thing. We have to understand that there's a way that we did things. And when you're really indigenous, it's in you. You understand it. You have an inner sense of like what's right and what's wrong. There's only so far that you're going to go if you really are indigenous to this continent, because we have a peace within us. We have a way of dealing with each other that is not like any other place. It is what draws the other people that don't have that to us, because they don't understand us having such loving hearts. They don't understand us also being so open with our tongues and quick-witted and able to say things that they keep inside. See, they hide a lot of stuff. They're not honest. We come out with it. And they don't really get that. They try to mimic us, but it's not natural. You see what I'm saying? And then the other thing is they can't handle it. When we come out with our brutal honesty, they can't handle it. You see, they can mimic us, but they don't have the training to handle it, because we're grown from the time we're babies to take somebody correcting us and talking bad about us, or whatever. We can take it because we're used to it. We used to hearing it. We used to having it done. We can handle the dozens. We made that. But these outsiders, these immigrants cannot. They don't really understand it. They can fake it, but they can't really handle it. That's how you know you're dealing with a European or an African or an outsider, because they don't have your soul. They are not the same. They are not going to respond the same way. They're not going to have the same level of respect inside them. They're not going to have the same level of understanding, and they're not going to have that daggone heart of forgiveness. They won't have it. I was talking to a brother from Cuba. Okay, now I consider Cuba very much, part of our turtle,
Right.
And the brother was like, these Mexicans are different. They're not like us. And he was just kind of breaking down what he felt like he felt passionately about how they are, how they are, how they are crooked, or how they just don't, they tend to try to manipulate. So I don't know. But anyway, but it's interesting though.
But he does have a point though, doesn't he?
I mean, you know me, you call me the fence rider. But anyway, I'm a fence jockey. But no, I've had some dealings with Mexicans, especially this past COVID year. So, I mean, I've had mixed reviews. I mean, I know a lot of people especially if you live in LA, if you live in California, you got a whole different type of Mexican there. Them Mexicans are kind of treacherous. I heard that they are like slumlords. They're very disrespectful, very racist. I haven't had that experience. I've had experience with some kind of recently off across the border at Mexicans. I've had experience with some Texas Mexicans that seemed pretty decent. So I don't know. I don't have a vast amount of experience to actually speak to that. That's all I can say. But I can say this is that these people come in just like all the other immigrants as predators. They come in, they step over your body, and they take what's yours. That's all I can say about that.
So is that what the young man was talking about from Cuba was talking about? Was he looking at it like that? Because
Well,
I mean,
he wasn't really.
huh?
Well, he's trying to get his as well. You know what I'm saying? So,
Right.
I don't know. So, I mean, I feel like he feels like they're very dishonest and they're corrupt and that they're deceptive, and I think he may be right about that. They play a lot of games, and they're willing to do things that we won't do, which doesn't make them feel like us. Because the reason that we're in the predicament that we're in, a lot of it is that we try to be very honest,
Right.
and we want to do what's right, and we care. These people come in and they're devoid of all that. They just come in and just rip through and take whatever they can and don't care what happens to anyone else. No regard for anyone else but themselves, and that's not our nature.
Do you think that when people that are coming from these other countries, do you think that how you just explained that we are, do you think that's a big contention from where they are? Like you got to get over to United States because the people over there, they don't care what happens to their land. Do you see a little of that?
I'm sure that that's the case. We don't even know who we are. So it's like there's nobody, they know when they come here that they have a right, and they're expected to take a superior seat to us. And if they don't, I'm sure they feel like complete failures. The expectation is they dominate us for all immigrants, right? And we just lay down and watch
100.
simultaneously.
100.
Why are we lying down and watching people walk over us time after time after time? These people live in slum wards, in the mud, in the dirt. They're living in primitive, horrific conditions, and they come here and they beat us up. They don't even have to beat us up. They just walk over us and win. And then they snub their noses at us like we ain't shit.
And we support them wholeheartedly.
And we go to those doctors, and we go to these daggone teachers, and we sit up there and we support and give them our money, our time, and our allegiance in our own homeland, and they treat us like we are unwelcomed guests in our home.
Okay, see, that doesn't happen to me, but this is the point that pisses me off about us. I mean, we dog each other out because we wear different styles of socks, and we'll just lick up and just everybody. We'll love them, right. Don't even know them,
right?
And if your sister wear your dress, you a shooter.
And that has happened. That has happened. That has happened. That has happened. We will cut and beat each other up over the most ridiculous stuff. Right. We will act like we are the worst things in the world for just the simplest of things, and even things that could be a matter of false perception.
Right.
We will blow it up and make it into something.
Could you explain that false perception? Could you give us an idea what you're talking about that false perception?
Anything you want to look at, the perspective and the perception that you take can make anything you want to look at look a certain way. You can curve it. You can look from the side. You can squint your eye. You can turn your head to the side. It's going to change your perspective on it. Okay. So, I mean, if you choose to want to see somebody as a villain, you're going to find the villainous quality. You're going to zoom in with like a magnifying glass on what you think is villainous. We make the choice of how we see things, Right. We actually do. So if you choose to see somebody as a villain, you can vilify them. If you choose to criticize somebody and think that they're being dishonest, then it's going to appear that they're dishonest. But my sister Capricorn is a Libra. I call her liberalizing. She, that's the balance. Those Libras, they got the scales. And they're always looking for both sides of things. Sometimes she does it to the point where she friggin' annoys me a lot. He's not black. I told him I don't go by black space. Why? I apologize to me. That's good. That's right. You're educating the public and educating your workplace. Okay. So, but anyway, this is the thing. So what was I just saying about where was I at? I was talking about the fact that how people's perspective is how you look at it, right? How you look at it. We could choose to look at something or anything in a way that it actually makes it look like somebody is wrong, bad, or whatever. But the reality is that if you're like a Libra, that's what I was talking about, my sister Penny, the Capricorn, is that she tries to look at both sides, to the point that it makes me nuts. So, but the thing about looking at things from both sides is that it gives you a balanced perception or perspective on things. And the other thing that we do that creates a perspective that is askewed as we don't put ourselves in the picture. If you don't see yourself as part of the problem when you're critiquing something, if you don't see yourself as part of the situation, then you can easily blame that person. But as soon as you put yourself in it, you're going to be less caustic. For example, when women say, oh, my ex he's just an ass, ignorant, no good, blah, blah, blah. This is what I do. I dated him. I had sex with him. I made babies with him for a while. So as jacked up as he might be, how jacked up am I? Right?
No.
How jacked up was I that I married, I dated him, I friggin' had sex with him, I had kids with him. You know what I'm saying? How can I just make him the messed up one when
I
I'm
didn't
the one
know.
who made all these decisions to be with him
I
and
didn't know.
and got all this lifestyle and reproduction with him? How is he just a villain by himself? I created my own damn situation, didn't I? Now, when you look that way at a situation, you ain't gonna be so heavy-handed on that other person because you understand that you had a part in it too. Does that make any sense to anybody?
Oh, all right.
Well, the other thing is, let's say this guy took my money. He took, I, he took daggone, he took $500 and didn't treat me, and treated me like shit. Treated me like shit. I mean, I thought that, we were friends. Okay. So this is the thing. Why'd you give the $500? Did you give the $500 because you wanted him to be your friend? Well, if you gave $500 because you wanted to buy a friend, then you failed. You failed because you cannot buy friends
Ever.
ever. So that's not a good. You can't claim that somebody's a thief because they took your $500 and then treated you like shit. I can't claim that they're a scammer. He scammed me out of my $500. No, he didn't scam me out of $500. I willingly gave $500 because I wanted to support. That is not a scammer. But depending on who you are, you could turn that into the perspective that that person's a scammer, and you could go and spread that about. But the reality is, if I look at it critically and put myself in it, I willingly, as a grown-ass woman, decided to give my money. Who is scammed? Not me. I willingly did it. You might be stupid, but you're not scammed. Nobody wants to look at themselves as being stupid, but you need to look at yourself as being stupid sometimes to understand that it ain't just that other person. It's you. How about Hemok? Let's name a name. Everybody likes to find a villain. Hemok's a horrible person. He's so bad. Okay, I talked to him for 5 minutes. I knew he was a hustler. I knew he was pimpish. Avoided him. So if you get involved with somebody who has "I'm a hustler" written all over their face, I am a pimp,
I'm a hustler.
everything out of his mouth, If you get involved with somebody like that and they take your money or try to get you to do something that's not proper or they mislead you in some sort of way, is it his fault? He actually has like a neon sign that flashes above his head that shows you who he is. You have to have discernment as a person that's an adult. You have to be able to self protect. You're a grown person. You're not a hot baby in a hot car. Okay? You're a grown adult. You are responsible for other people's lives. You're a whole chief. How are you not old or responsible enough to know where a pimp is, who a hustler is, and to avoid it and protect yourself and your people from that? We have to see ourselves in the equation when we point fingers and when we try to just make someone out to be a certain way. Look at your part in it. Be critical of yourself just like you're critical of others. Yeah, I was stupid. Yeah, I married him. Uh-huh. Had a couple of kids. Uh-huh. Dumb as shit. Crazy as hell. That's me. See yourself. Own your shit. Because if you own your shit, it will free you and it also will free the other person. Because ain't none of us perfect. And if that means I'm riding the fence because I know it ain't none of us perfect, baby, I'm a fence jockey, bitch. I'm riding that because that's what life's about. You have to know it's a balance and it's not just good or bad. We all are good and bad. Simultaneously.
and when you look at yourself, you damn sure won't make that mistake again.
You sure won't. You sure won't. And you'll also be a lot. You when you open your mouth, you're gonna think again because you'll be like, look, let me see what I did in this.
Right.
Let me see what I didn't see in this. Let me see my fault in this. That's grown people stuff. When you're grown, that's how you move. You're not just like, ain't me, and ain't me, it's all here, it's all here, ain't me. No, that's a child. That is a baby. That is not a grown person. An adult says, let me see, wait a minute, what was I doing? Why didn't I see this guy was a hustler? Like, silly me. And then you self-critique and you say, damn, I was real stupid. I'll do better next time. Instead of just trying to make somebody to be a full villain when they have a disclaimer. It's a neon sign that blinks over their head.
Isn't that part of the evolvement process? You know, as we grow and evolve, isn't that part of that process?
It is. It is part of that process, but you have to know that it's part of the process. First of all, a lot of people are just too blind and their egos have gotten so big, they don't.
Oh, so she stepped out for a minute, but I know she's coming back. But that's what I mean, y'all. You know, a lot of this stuff that we do, it's on us. We can't blame nobody else. That's why we got to be on our game. We can't grow around like children blaming everybody else for stuff that happens to us because we didn't know. How come we don't know? How come we're not in a hurry to find out? How come stuff can happen to us as a whole nation of people that's going to be passed down to your children and we don't say nothing about it? We don't do nothing about it. We don't care. You see, all this stuff is happening now. What is it going to mean for the children that's born today? Is this what we're leaving them? Because if it is, we some sorry motherfuckers. Huh? This is what we going to leave? We're not gonna check out the land here and check out where our people are from, where our grandparents are from, where our great grandparents are from. Because remember, every time a woman has a baby, she's also delivering her grandchildren. They just haven't been activated yet by a man. But when a woman has a baby, if she has a daughter, her daughter already has the eggs that she's going to have for her whole life. That doesn't just go physically, that goes audibly too. What's going on?
I don't know. Somebody didn't want me saying that, I guess. I don't know. Oh,
As you were
funny.
saying,
And I was saying, yeah, yeah. I mean, it's powerful to self critique, but it's not an easy thing to do. But when you do it, it frees you and it frees other people from getting caught up in your crazy head games.
yeah,
You know, it the ego prevents us from wanting to look at ourselves. But when you do look at yourselves, you become that bigger person. You know, you actually become a better version of yourself when you actually do critique yourself. I don't know if that makes sense to people. Ow. That's what it is.
yeah.
Yeah.
What I wanted to bring up with the simultaneously thing, this is what I wanted to bring up.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to get the panels what they think of this.
Mm-hmm.
So let's take all the people who call themselves African American, and let's take all the groups that they support. They
Mm-hmm.
support the Greeks. They support the Hebrew Israelites. They support the Muslims. They
Right.
support the Christians. They support the Pan-Africanism.
Mm-hmm.
And I can probably name 5 or 6 more groups that are major.
Mm-hmm.
What I mean by simultaneously, if all those groups plus the other groups, all the energy they spend in all those other groups, all the studying, all the money given, all the, praise the Lord, God, every ounce that they put into these ideologies that they stand up for, what do you think would happen if all that energy was put back into the indigenous people of America?
Um, that would be amazing. That would be amazing because all these different groups are just made to divide. That's their only designed to divide. You know,
Right,
and then I feel like also by the fact that we try to also divide in the in the community of indigenous speakers, like if you're trying to divide off, if you're trying to cut people off, you're part of that problem. You're doing the same thing um as the Hebrew Israelites or the Pan Africans or the Moors. You're doing that same thing because what you're doing is you're cutting and dividing up a people that need to come together.
right.
It is more important than ever that we come together. So if you're sitting up there saying, "Oh, this one," and don't talk about scammers, Tracy. It's like, who's a scammer? You're a grown motherfucking people. Your people are grown, okay? You have to have discernment. And if you don't have discernment, unless you're mentally handicapped, and even the mentally handicapped are able to discern. Let me tell you, I have some people that are just differently able than in my family, and they can discern better than anybody. Okay, so it's really no excuse with the scammers thing. Okay, you got scammed because you're not discerning. You are a part of the problem, no matter what it is. Even and especially with scammers. Be discerning, grow up. The people usually are very evidently criminal. They're very evidently hustlers. If you choose not to see it, that is part of your responsibility. You are not a baby in a hot car. Put your big girl, big boy pants on and be smart. And the other thing is, what's a scam? You spend your money on dumb shit anyway. You spend hundreds of dollars on a detailing of a car. You spend hundreds and hundreds of dollars on purses, thousands and thousands on purses. You spend all kinds of thousands of dollars on getting your nails done every damn month and week and every year.
Don't say
you put all kinds of thousands of dollars in your hair. So I mean, what's a scam?
Pastor don't scam me.
Oh yeah, people donate their whole houses, their whole retirement, their whole life savings to the church, and you don't want to call every daggone pastor down from the daggone pulpit and have them daggone quartered and tarred and feathered. Come on now, let's stop talking about scammers. We have to move. People are killing us now. We are being murdered. We are actively at war, and you got dumb people who want to be famous trying to distract you by some bullshit. And let me tell you, that's what you're listening to. People who want to be stars, who want to be famous, who haven't done their own genealogy and want to get you fixated on some scammy shit. When you need to be thinking about getting your life together because this world is trying to kill your ass. Are you kidding me? Are you seriously talking about what a scammer is? Then they're trying to kill us every day. They're about to destroy the economy. We're about to be in a Great Depression, and you worried about scammers? Shut the hell up. Stop it. These people are distracting your ass from what you should be focusing on, which is surviving, which is helping your family survive. Simultaneously, we should all be thinking about, we need to fight for power. We need to stand together. We need to confront our invaders. We need to organize our families. We need to structure ourselves so we get our rights and our land back. We need to have our survival skills together and have our daggone survival programs and supplies together. Why are you talking about scammers? You obviously are not awake. You obviously are not aware that they are actively at war with us. You obviously don't know that that is a United States motto that the only good Indian is a dead Indian, is alive, well, and in effect. Your ass needs to be dead if you're an Indian. If you're a daggone, Black European or an African, well, then you don't know. You can go ahead and talk about scammers. That might be your concern. However, don't be trying to preach that into the indigenous community, because we got more important things to talk about than that. And if you're talking about stupid stuff like that, you are a distraction, and I don't trust you. And I'm looking at you with the side eye, because why are you talking about dumb shit when we got real shit to talk about?
Yay!
People get on my on nerves.
Don't let nobody get on your nerves.
Right, because I'm in a fabulous mood. Great things are happening. I don't need to be worrying about that. Right. But people need to wise up, and people need to understand the power that we have. And that's the thing Carrie was inspired by, the power that we have and the power that we can generate if we do the right things and focus on the important things simultaneously, instead of being sidetracked with all these distractions.
All these distractions.
All these distractions that's going to murder you.
Don't have nothing to do with nothing.
They trying to kill you with these distractions. They're trying to kill your children with these distractions, because anything other than our survival should not be the subject matter now. I don't understand people who are doing all kinds of stupid stuff that's not related to the fact that we need to save ourselves. We need to understand the importance that we have to be focused on, that our survival is paramount right now. That they have their eyes on us. Their intent is for us to be gone. And if you don't understand that and you're not trying to counteract that, what are you? And who are you? And what is your agenda? What are you? Who are you? What is your real agenda? Thank you, Curious. Who's that? Oh, we are easily distracted. That's right. We need to be united. You're right. You're right, cousin Akamakzina. We need to be united. We need to focus on the bigger picture. And these petty little things, that's that stuff that killed us before. That's that stuff that destroyed us before. That's the stuff that got us messed up before. And the one thing that we can't do, and that's why I get fixated with this stuff, because the one thing we can't do is fall for the same thing
over and over again. Yeah.
We have to grow. We have to grow. First of all, we have to grow in our respect for one another, our trust of one another. And you're not going to do that when you got these little crazy people walking around trying to shut their own people down. Do you trust people like that? Do you trust people that are actually trying to just shut one person down one by one by one? That's not cool. Because guess what? Everybody got some good and everybody got some bad. That's just us. We're human. There's nobody perfect.
Nobody's perfect. Okay, Lisa, well, we coming up on the end of the hour. Could you tell us about the summit that's going on? We're going to do a live broadcast from the summit too, so you guys can get it. It might not be next Friday night. It might be next Saturday night, but we're gonna broadcast live from the summit. So be ready.
Yes, indeed.
So one more again about the summit, Lisa.
Oh, the summit. You don't want to miss it. Don't worry about the money. Just show up, because the money is ridiculous. It's already been spent. It's not a money maker. It's a money loser. It's definitely a money loser. It's never been a money maker. You can't break even when you're building something like this. So, I mean, it's about just show up. Just be there, and just bring everybody you can, and bring your positive energy, and bring your heart. And we're going to be there communing together, networking together, vibing together, encouraging each other's greatness. Let me tell you something. I got an Acromat cousin. I'm gonna call her Pink Feather, because honey, she love her pink feathers, and she's so and she is on fire. Okay, my Cynthia Manning, Zena's cousin, she's on fire. The girl is starting businesses simultaneously. Like, she's starting, like, I don't know what. She's working on 3 or 4 different businesses at once. Because what was said at the beginning of all of this is that we must make our dreams come true. And that's what we're doing, man. Don't you want to help your people manifest their dreams? I mean, do you understand how easily that is done? If you did, you wouldn't listen to the nonsense. If you did, you would be focused. And if you did, you come to the summit, because you actually be able to feel that this is happening. You be able to feel it, though, that open up in your own soul. When you attend the summit, you're gonna get inspired. You're gonna be on fire. Everything is going to make perfect sense, and you are going to generate all kinds of ideas and you're going to have the words to communicate it. Not only that, you're going to have that feeling inside that you can do it because you're going to see it. I'm going to show you. You're going to have a true understanding of what is needs to be done in your family and in your life. Come on out.
You guys,
I can show you better than I can tell you.
you guys will be thoroughly blessed. Well, Lisa, thank you. We're going to go ahead and close it out tonight.
All right.
Thank you for joining us. Thank you for giving it to you like you always give it. And we hope to see all of you at the ACAMAC Summit next weekend. You guys have
Awesome.
you guys have a good night.
Good night.